The road to Unforgiven has finally reached its final stop. We are on the last SmackDown, the go home SmackDown to Unforgiven 2001, the September 20th, 2001 SmackDown edition. Tro, how you doing?
Well, you know what? It's like what Moppy said. The show must go on, and it's with a heavy heart that we entertain you tonight and review this show. I don't know. I don't even know how we're able to do this. I mean, we watched somebody die yesterday, and now we're. I mean, for the stream before that, we had my dad jumping off a bridge, and now we have now we have Mop dying.
Yeah, poor
I
Mop.
I I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
this has just been a bad luck show. What can I say?
yeah, poor Moppy. Well, it's a bad luck road too. Apparently, it's
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
you. You
nine
picked a
eleven 9/11 happens and everything goes to shit.
you picked a cursed road too. You picked a one of the worst weekly shows in the 97 to '05 time period with that first SmackDown where they barely did anything. And then there's obviously one SmackDown has to be like a tribute show for obvious reasons. Then uh, almost every show except for this one, thankfully, almost every damn show starts with a match instead of a fucking segment. Thankfully, we finally get the best segment in this whole build up essentially kicks off this show. Um and there were like two other shows that began with a segment, but like finally something really good. I think it clicked in their heads that like holy shit, we got a pay-per-view coming up. We got to do something big. But yeah, well they also you picked a pay-per-view where we don't care about the hardcore title. We're not going to build that up. We got to worry about signing a tag team before we can get that one tag titles match, WCW tag titles. Um, and then absolutely no build to Jerry versus Rhino, no build to the hardcore. So yeah, you picked a curse, and then yes, Moppy dies. So yeah, you picked a cursed road too.
I just can't believe Moppy's dead. And unfortunately, folks, halfway through the show, we will have to be preempted by President
No,
Bush declaring war on terror.
no, that happened in real time. That's not gonna happen here.
We don't have time for the invasion, Frank. We're declaring war on terror. Terror
No.
organizations like the Alliance and Stone Cold and
Uh,
and Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon.
so here we go. We're gonna get to the show right here. Austin comes out. Austin comes out and he's talking about Angle, um, and he's telling Angle that he has no chance on Sunday because the WWE title was designed what? It was designed to rest on Austin's shoulder, and when Angle's stupid ill family gets to see him live in a match, obviously his family really was there for the pay per view. They're going to see him get his ass whooped. But now Austin says he cannot wait for Sunday. He wants to settle his differences face to face right here tonight. He wants to settle all of his problems now. And now that is when he calls out Tori Wilson. Because that's who he's facing at the pay per view, right?
Well, obviously,
Well, no, the obvious reason as to why Tori Wilson's being called out. I mean, what's the whole deal with Tajiri here? Tajiri's not with the alliance, and she's rolling with Tajiri right now. So obviously, this is why this call out happens. Angle Austin's the leader of the alliance, so obviously he wants to know what's going on. And after after not showing up immediately, she finally comes out and looks extremely scared. Like, what is Austin going to do right now? And then she apparently when she gets into the ring, Austin's like, "Are you proud of yourself?" And poor Tori starts crying. By the way, Austin, because of this whole what he does here to Tori, he needs to get kicked out of the alliance and jumped. But anyway, he yells at first he yells at her to stop crying, and then no, wait. He says, "You got something to say? Shut up." And then he says he wants to know why, if she's in the alliance, then why did she help Tajiri win the United States title? Then he proceeds to belittle her, scream at her, calling her trash and everything like that. And then Austin's like, "Well, if you want me to stop, beg me to stop. Go ahead, beg. Shut up. I hate it when people beg." And of course, just a couple of weeks ago, Austin obviously was begging Kurt Angle
I'm
to.
begging you, Kurt.
Hey, Austin being a really good heel here. I hate it when people beg, but yet he was. Anyway, Austin keeps screaming and yelling, and then finally Tajiri comes in. He makes a run in, and Michael Cole and Taz actually drop a bit of a bombshell. They say that Tajiri is actually the boyfriend now of Tori Wilson. So at this point, I guess we now know the whole is she using him or are they? I guess that's done. I
Did,
guess it's now official. Go ahead.
how do they know that? Is Tori
Well,
Wilson like, oh, he's my boyfriend now. He's my boyfriend now. He's my
well,
boyfriend now.
Cole. When you're a commentator in WWE, you got to go backstage and ask these questions.
Ah, so a
Yeah.
Taz, the member of the alliance, does not know that Tori Wilson, supposedly member of the alliance. So when Cole says they're an item now, Taz is like, "The fuck do you mean, Cole? They're an item. You're Waston. Cole says they're an item.
um,
Damn, son, this is your fault, Taz. You should have told me. I'm gonna whoop
it's
your
actually,
ass."
by the way, it's actually Jr. on commentary with Cole here
Uh,
on this show. But we do see
I miss
Taz
Taz.
real. We do see Taz really soon. But
He was on
Tajiri
heat.
yes. Tajiri gets his ass beat. Austin returns to the ring. Tori is obviously cowering away. Austin wants to know why Tori set him up. He then returns to run down Tori. It's kind of weird too. Again, we've always mentioned like whenever Austin yells at Deborah, it's like so
Yeah.
odd to see, and just again knowing what Austin did to Deborah, it's like odd to see him yell at any woman here. But he is a heel, so I get that. But the funny thing is, this reminds me of when Big Show was yelling at Tori and Kurt Angle came to save the day, and then he got choke slammed off a ledge. Keep that in mind for the rest of this segment, because it's very similar, and it gets
Is it?
even more what
Is
happens
this when
when.
Al Wilson comes down and
No,
attacks Austin?
that would have been hilarious, but no, that's not what.
Damn.
and
He
then
has a heart attack right then and there.
and then what happens is obviously Austin's like, "Al Wilson, I have to beat you. You think you're special."
I I have to beat you, Al. I have to beat you more than I've ever had to beat someone before. And Tom Murray's like, no, you fucking don't.
So Austin returns. Oh wait, hold on. We went to that. So now he's again running down Tori, and that's when Kurt Angle's music plays. So Kurt Angle is always the guy to save Tori Wilson in this situation. But as we are about to find out, it always ends terribly for our beloved Olympic gold medalist because Kurt Angle comes down, his music plays, he goes down to beat down on Austin. But like I said, we were going to see him in a minute. Taz comes, makes the save
It's
with Taz,
Taz.
makes the save with Taz mission, but Kurt Angle reverses the Taz mission into an angle slam on the floor. And now Austin, who's had obviously enough time to recover here, beats Kurt Angle down, is set and pulls up the padding on the floor, and then Oh, well, first he hits him with a steel chair. Then he pulls back the mat on the floor to expose the concrete. And then, as you see in the thumbnail for the video, Austin hits a pile driver on exposed concrete to Kurt Angle.
Wow,
Oh boy.
crazy.
Like I said, head meets concrete every time Kurt Angle tries to meet or tries to save Tori Wilson. Every time. No blood
Yeah,
coming out of the back of his head though this
yeah, not this
because
time.
a much a still as dangerous of a fall, but not a much fall.
It wouldn't have been as
Further.
cool as a visual as bald headed
Yeah.
Kurt. This
Well, he was
is
bald.
thinning hair Kurt, but
Right. Yeah. He still got hair. Yeah. But yeah, the fall where with Big Show was much higher than the
yeah.
fall here. Um, so that is when after that JR, Sergeant Slaughter, and a bunch of other officials come out to tend to Kurt Angle. JR is calling for EMTs. The officials try to talk Austin away, and he even looks shocked a little bit for what he just did. And we come back from commercial. They are still tending to Kurt Angle. They're let's see, they have him saying, "I can't feel anything." He says that like 3 or 4 times to the EMTs who are trying to attend to him. And let's see. Oh, you have Lita, Lita, the Hardy Boys, and Jericho are around. They show the replay, and
Oh, you got me, brother.
and then after that, Angle gets put into the ambulance backstage, and there's a bunch of wrestlers there watching along. And then we have Jr. At the announce table with Michael Cole. Jr. essentially saying, this was a horrible situation and stuff like that. Great way to kick off. This is how you kick off a weekly show. You don't kick off a fucking weekly show with a random ass tag match or any match for that matter. This is how you kick off a fucking weekly show. Finally, they figured that out after kicking off 99.9% of the build up to this
Trainers.
nothing but fucking matches. But a drama segment like this, especially when it's literally the final show, the go home show to the pay per view, great segment. What do you think of this show?
Trainers, EMTs, referees down. No, I think this was great because Austin is so crazy at this point, so like lost in his own mind that he's willing to do the move that put him on the shelf and hurt him so badly,
That's right.
and he's willing to do it, take it even a step further and do it on concrete. And
Yeah,
you see for a moment the psychotic Austin actually breaks like from his trance of being crazy when he's like, "Oh God, the fuck did I do?
that's right.
Shit."
He can't believe what he just did.
I think it would have been pretty crazy if they had Vince McMahon come down, like, oh my God, damn it, Austin, the fuck did you do?
Yeah.
This just adds on to this being a cursed show because now we lost Kurt. He's down.
Yeah. We
Never
lost
see him again.
Moppy. We lost Moppy. We lost Kurt. Oh
Maybe
boy.
this is why Bush made the speech during the show. We've lost my fellow
But
Americans. We've lost Kurt Angle.
but but you know whose fault all this is, right?
Is it Grandma Edna's? Of
It's
course.
Grandma Edna. Yes,
Okay.
Grandma Edna, man.
Grandma Edna called Stone Cold before the show and said, "I'll drive that motherfucker as you wish, Grandma Edna."
She's the biggest heel leading into this pay per view.
Yeah,
And
she's the
now
mastermind.
we get to a match that would have kicked off a show a couple of weeks ago. Instead, they finally realized, holy shit, we got to build up a pay per view here. Landstorm and Hurricane taking on Spike Dudley and the Big Show. And obviously, with Landstorm and Hurricane being out there, we have Ivory by their side. And Ivory looking absolutely amazing. Again, the Alliance just have all the great looking women, except for Trish Stratus, and Trish Stratus isn't even. She hasn't been on any of these shows. Although I guess we can now say that Tori Wilson is no longer in the Alliance, so I guess it's a little more even now. But
Yeah, perhaps.
but anyway, Hurricane and Storm get the victory as Hurricane pins Spike. Post match, we have a bit of a cat fight between Ivory and Molly Holly, but then the Dudleys come out, hit Big Show with tag titles, and then put him through the table with a essentially a double vertical suplex, and that is building up to the 4-team elimination tag match Sunday at Unforgiven. Not much talk about match wise, but again, good little build up to the I almost said to the main event. Good build up to the
Yes, the Fatal 4-Way will be main eventing Unforgiven 2001.
the 4-team elimination match is your main event for the pay per view.
Yeah,
That's why Austin and Angle have gotten most of the big segments in these shows building up to the pay per view.
yeah.
Austin and Angle just kicked the show off.
But come on, we all know that Jericho and Rhino, and Jericho and no, Jericho and Rhino will be the.
Yeah, that's your
No,
main.
not even Jericho, Rhino.
Jericho and Rob Van Dam.
RVD.
Jericho
That's
and
how
Rob
big.
Van Dam.
That's how much build it really gets. I can't even remember the fucking
It got
matches.
it literally got no build just to be the main event of the whole pay per view.
Yeah, that's WWF logic.
He pinned.
Gotta send the Canadian the phones home the phones the fans
Gotta
home
send the
happy.
phones home
Yeah,
happy.
those 2001 cell phones gotta be happy. Take a blurry photo. Add me to your top 5. Gotta send the American fans home happy in Pittsburgh with the Canadian winning.
Oh.
Boo!
RVD and Jericho. The only buildup is Jericho pinned him in a fucking tag match, and you think maybe they do something in the go home show. Maybe they didn't do anything. Jericho was on commentary for RVD's match.
That's build.
No, it's not fucking build.
It's perfect build.
It's not fucking build.
I am more interested in this match than I am any other match on that card.
The best thing that happened.
Cinema. The aura.
The best thing that fucking happened to the buildup of Jericho and RVD is Jericho on commentary being like, well, they chant RVD and they chant Y2J. What are they going to chant on Sunday? Oh, whoop-de-doo. I can't wait to tune into the pay-per-view to see what the fans chant. What tremendous build-up to this hardcore title match.
Jericho's like, what's the deal with airline food? Unforgiven this Sunday. What's the deal with airline food? Cool, whatever, man.
Anyway, did I ask what your thoughts on this tag match? Because we drifted off a little bit there, but even though I did enjoy this pay per view, the build up to it could have been some matches could have been better. 10 out of 10 on the build up to Angle and Austin, and the build up to Rock, the handicap match was decent, but some of the lower card matches they absolutely dropped the ball with. Now this is a good segment here. The Alliance in the locker room, and Austin enters the locker room, and everybody in the Alliance looks upset. Obviously, they're not going to tell Austin to his face because he's their leader, but they clearly look upset at what Austin just did. And Austin wants to make sure that they're clear with the direction the Alliance is taking. Austin wants them to know that what they all look sad about. He says he pile drove Angle for the Alliance, not for himself. And he manages to turn the Alliance back on his side, essentially by berating Tommy Dreamer, which, again, just a few months ago, this man was going to blow Paul Heyman's head off. I don't know if that was a smart idea by
Yeah,
Austin. But no,
yeah. I'm just saying. Tommy's packing.
yeah, yeah. Good little segment there. Austin, again, everything he does is for the alliance. If he smacks Grandma Edna in the face, he's smacking Grandma Edna in the face for the alliance. But
Grandma Edna would never let that happen.
yeah, she wouldn't. The Grandma Edna is literally the leader of the alliance. It's not Austin.
Yeah, I would just let the leader of the alliance.
What for the alliance?
She would not. She would not want that.
So, what did you think? I thought it was a good segment. What do you think of Austin telling the Alliance why he pile drove Kurt Angle?
I like that the alliance, even though they're totally evil heels,
Yeah.
even they're like, that might have been a little too far there, dude. That might have
Mm,
been a step over the line.
right.
And they're still fearful that they now know that Austin's willing to do literally anything. So when he starts berating Tommy, they're like, okay, he could what he just did to Kurt could be literally any of us next. So we're gonna do whatever the fuck this man says.
Right. Slam of the week. I love the slam of the week, man. Dudley Boys beating Brothers of Destruction for the tag titles. Yes. Like who
Presented
the fuck?
by
Presented by Stacker Two, obviously.
obviously Stacker
Yes.
Two
Nothing.
Energy. When you don't have enough energy, try Stacker Two.
I obviously had not been a pro wrestling fan yet in 2001, but I became a fan obviously Thanksgiving 2002. So I really grew up on like '03 SmackDown. Even if you are like mid 2000s like I am, you grew up on fucking Stacker 2 Slam of the Week.
That's I
Same
do.
shit.
I grew up with
Those
fucking Castor Oil GTX.
Castro GTX was also a part of the programming for WWE
The, that and
sponsor.
fucking AutoZone and Auto Part crap.
See, AutoZone Auto Parts. That's more you. But
Yeah,
Castrol GTX was a part of it in like 2003. In fact, I think Castrol GTX was the sponsor of. I could be wrong, but I think they were the sponsor of Backlash '03.
hmm. Castrol GTX presents Backlash 2003. The Rock's last pay-per-view match for a year.
That's not how the pay per view began. That was not the open. They don't
Damn.
spoil that. They don't spoil that. In fact, they don't spoil that to the live pay per view audience. They only spoil that to the people who are in the crowd,
Yeah.
the live crowd after the show. Rock grabs
Booker
Mike. Go ahead.
Backlash 2003 presented by Castrol GTX. Booker T was facing Triple H for the world title last month, and now he's in a six-man tag match with
That
HBK and Kevin Nash.
that
The
was
fuck have we done?
that was the semi raw main event. That was the best. That was one of the best matches on the card too. That was
Yeah,
still, I do think they should have had some rematches from Mania on of Backlash instead of maybe that 6 man. But I can't
but
complain. The 6 man was really good, and the build to it.
Batista is still hurt. Therefore, we cannot have Evolution, even though we've shown them already debuted before.
Yeah,
Wait
that's
until September for him to come back.
no. He didn't come back in September. He came back in November.
In
See
November,
this.
that's right.
See, you can't be talking about my era when you weren't even a fan yet, bro. Come on now.
I watched the 2003 Survivor Series enough. I got my month a little mixed up. I remember he came back and collected the bounty on Goldberg.
Yes, that was a great moment, a great angle to build up to Survivor. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, all of Evolution's '03 was completely stunted by injuries, but when everybody was healthy at the end of '03 into '04, they did a tremendous job with Evolution. Evolution was a great group. Um, but yeah, uh, you can't be a WWE fan in the early 2000s, early mid 2000s, and not know what Stacker Two is. Those Stacker Two commercials, and seeing it on this show is like, man, I feel like I'm back in my childhood seeing these Stacker Two things. But yeah, so that's your Stacker Two Slam of the Week. Dudley Boys beating the Brothers of Destruction for the tag titles. Now Oh my gosh. Here's how we build up. By the way, so we were giving them some, uh how do you say it? Even though they weren't building up the tag titles, it's like, okay, they don't have Chronic signed yet. Chronic is signed now. And here's the build up that we get on the final show, the go home show. Nothing. Chronic faces
Nothing.
Chronic faces Kaientai in a fucking squash match, and obviously, Chronic wins it. I almost said Kaientai obviously wins it. Chronic gets the
Yeah,
win on
obviously.
literally nothing else to talk about there. What do you think of Chronic squashing Kaientai when they're facing the Brothers of Destruction?
Indeed. Except this
Uh,
wasn't the Indeed era. This was
right.
the
I couldn't.
freaking Taka's gonna be this is the Taka's gonna be fired any week now. Good luck for Naka. You're gonna be
I,
SmackDown's #1 announcer.
I couldn't even believe that Kaientai was even on this show, but Taka Michinoku takes the high times, and that's your pin. Uh, there you go. Fucking squash match
Yeah,
for
when Taka takes the pin, I wonder which one of these guys will be here within a year.
they essentially just post match they celebrate with Steven Richards. Now I mentioned on last week's show we did not I mentioned yesterday, not last week's, the Raw. I mentioned on that Raw we did not see William Regal, Commissioner Regal, in the office. We get it here, and we get an absolutely great promo at one point here but from Regal. They're running. Regal says that they're running tests on Kurt in the hospital, but his life signs are great or whatever. And that's when Austin comes in. Tajiri's obviously here. His uh he's got his ribs taped from getting gored last week. And Austin comes in screaming at Regal, but then Austin's like, what is this Tajiri? Who does this Tajiri think he is? I want Tajiri. But then Regal comes right back at Regal. Regal comes back at Regal. Regal comes back at Austin,
Damn you, Regal! Fuck you, Regal! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
and he just cuts a damn promo, a vicious promo on Austin, essentially saying, if you're either you want him, why don't you take me? And yelling at him, I want you one on one tonight. And Austin's like, my beef is not with you, I want him. And Regal essentially says, you want Tajiri, then fine, it's going to be for the WWE title in the main event. Well, not even in the main event, but essentially one of the big matches on this show. Tajiri versus Austin. Great promo on Austin by Regal. Great segment here. What do you think of the this segment here and the promo from Regal?
Regal's very interesting because he's he's not always great on the promo. He's good in ring, but when the man wants to cut a good promo, he can because he has that natural fire. Like you get him worked up enough, he's great. And we saw that in '04 with the Eugene feud when he's
Yes. Our
yelling at Triple.
first, or not to cut you off, but
Yeah.
our first road two. Go ahead.
Um, we saw it then. But what's interesting is because is it before or is it after No Mercy? He joins the alliance.
That's what I was thinking. This whole segment. He's like, don't. I'm thinking Austin's yelling at his own commissioner.
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
after No Mercy. I think after No Mercy, Regal joins the alliance
But I
and
do
becomes.
remember. I think he tries to get he actually Tajiri before he goes full turning. He's like, "Do you want to join me on the alliance?" And Tajiri says no. He's like, "Okay," and then just viciously attacks him.
So obviously, yeah, Tajiri's with Tori Wilson, and they're a
Because
baby
I know
face.
Kurt turns on turns
He,
joins the
yeah,
alliance.
he does that obviously after No Mercy because he does
Yeah,
that
after
like
No
right
Mercy.
before some Survivor. He does that right before Survivor. He was a
Yeah,
member of the alliance for a hot second, literally a hot second. It's like Angle
yeah.
joins, and all of a sudden there's a mole in the alliance.
Maybe it's Taz. It ain't me. It ain't me. I swear, Jones. You accusing Jones over here. If I
So yeah,
if I can't
go ahead.
if my camera dips, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to do
No,
something
you were
off the
good.
side quickly. No, I'm saying
Oh, you
I'm
mean
gonna
now?
turn off my camera. Yeah, just because I have to do something quickly. I'm still gonna be on the
Okay, yeah,
call, but
yeah, that's fine. Boot
don't
of
want
the
to
week.
freeze up.
The boot of the week is a sad one. The boot of the week is a damn, I cut off. Hold on. The boot of the week is a very sad one. It is Moppy getting thrown into the wood chipper. Oh boy. But the reason why that's the boot of the week is because RVD is taking on Raven in a hardcore match. And here's how we build up the fucking hardcore title match. And yes, I understand for anybody who may be watching this maybe in the future, because right now we have nobody watching. But I understand it's a damn hardcore title match. It's not necessarily going to get a ton of build, but at least do something. In the Attitude Era, they would build up every match on an upcoming pay per view to the best of their ability. This. Some people probably think this is Attitude Era. No, WrestleMania 17 ends. The Attitude Era ends. This is not Attitude Era. But anyway, um, absolutely no build for this match coming up on this pay per view. RVD and Jericho, and essentially, here's the best build. We have RVD in a hardcore match with Raven, and we put Jericho on commentary. That's all we can do for this. Jericho beats him in a tag match, which they do reference that. Jericho referenced that on commentary. He beats him in a tag match. Oh, whoop-de-doo. And then the commentary here on this match. That's essentially all we get out of RVD and Chris Jericho. And they were in a tag match as well at one of the main events to the shows we've been covering. They were not involved in the pinfall. But yeah, that's about it. They've been in tag matches on the other side of tag matches. Jericho got a pinfall victory, and Jericho's commentating
You
a
don't like this build? This build's awesome.
this build is horrible.
I love it. It's the best build ever.
No, it is
I'm
not.
so engaged. You know, I miss Moppy. Maybe that's what it is.
Did you hear what the boot of the week was?
Yeah, I heard it was Moppy. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I miss Moppy, Frank. I miss.
The
This
mop
might be my last. I don't know if I'll be able to do Unforgiven because with that Moppy, even the purpose of reviewing shit?
the Moppy angle has got better build up than RVD and Jericho, and that's essentially what this match really was for that build up. Yes, we're gonna get to that.
I'm sure the heat matches, the heat matches at Unforgiven will have better build than Jericho and RVD.
So Rob Van Dam ends up getting the win here. I think. Hold on. Drops. Yeah. He hits a 5-star frog splash for the win. Post match, like I said, here we go. Saturn versus Raven gets better build up for than RVD and Jericho when they needed to build up RVD and Jericho here. But Saturn comes out, beats down on Raven, goes for Terry, but Raven comes back, hits the Raven effect DDT. Again, solid build up for that pay per view match. So, and that's like what the second match on the show. Like, I mean, if you can build up this match, you can absolutely build up the hardcore title match. But they don't want to for some reason. They did not. They really did not care about some of the matches on this pay per view. But match itself didn't really matter. But the the run in at the end was great. Jericho was fine on commentary as you'd expect. At one point, he's like, they chant RVD, they chant Y2J. What are they gonna chant at Unforgiven? So he was fine on commentary. Tro, what'd you think of
Yep.
this match? Yeah, this match and the post match.
It's just the fucking Jericho comedy hour. Comedy hour. Hey guys, what's the you know what band I really like? I really like that Fozzy people, those Fozzy guys. Uh, I'm totally not going to leave for pro wrestling in a few years and do that instead of my show, my actual job here.
They here's the video package for RVD versus Jericho. They show Chris Jericho being saying on commentary, "What are they going to chant? They chant RVD, they chant Y2J. What are they going to chant at the pay per view?" And then we go to "You think you're special, you do," and they're just cutting to pick different videos of fans just cheering in the crowd. You think you're special.
I need to beat you, Rob Van Dam. I need to beat you more than anybody else.
No, I need
Cool,
I need
whatever, man.
I need the chant. I need the crowd to chant Y2J, Van Dam.
I
I need the crowd to chant Y2J more than anything ever. You think you're special?
You see, that's the
You
real reason why they had a feud. Why they were in the chamber the next year. It was just pent up anger, I guess.
I will not accept any hate for the first ever Elimination Chamber match. That is a 5-star classic. That is an absolute 5-star
It
classic.
was certainly a good match, except for HBK's wardrobe.
Yeah, well, why was Sean's tights high at SummerSlam of '93 or whatever that saying was? Shawn Michaels did have some bad fashion moments throughout his
Well, it
career.
wasn't even his fault. It was the fucking seamstress didn't finish his gear in time. That's why he just has a brown fucking pants and the little boys here, the fucking little boys bowl haircut on.
So now, apparently, this was not on the network, but Billy Gunn and Edge talking backstage. Billy Gunn said he couldn't believe what Austin had done to Angle, and Edge told Billy that he saw an advanced copy of Kurt Angle's book. Really good book, by the way. I read
Oh
that.
boy.
Edge's book was great too, but the Edge was actually the first wrestler book that I ever read. This would be 3 years after this, so obviously Edge isn't going to talk about it here. But he said he saw an advanced copy of Kurt Angle's book, and Angle had apparently broken his neck 3 months before winning the gold medal in the
Oh my
Olympics.
god.
So Angle is one tough son of a bitch. Had Angle not brought up the fact that he won
Yeah, I was
gold
about to say, did was this free? I won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck.
apparently it was because Edge brought it up like nobody knew. Hey, I saw this in Angle's book. Do you
Hey,
know this?
did you? This is like this is how Jericho announces, like whenever Jericho says he's the first undisputed champion. Edge Edge in a random segment backstage in like Raw 2002 is like, hey, did you know in Jericho's book he says he was the first undisputed champion? So then from that point on, Jericho's like, I was the first undisputed champion. I was the first undisputed champion.
But Jericho did not have a book out yet in 2002, so that would make no sense. Uh, I
We
can't
don't know.
even.
Maybe he was writing. Maybe he was writing in the back, but then he got attacked.
Yeah, I can't even say nothing about this segment because, like I said, I didn't even see it on the network. So I
I'm
should have been
pretty
watching.
pretty
I should have
crazy how
been
Billy
watching.
Gunn's so okay with Edge after Edge Edge
Yeah,
put him 6 feet under after the King of the Ring and called him Billy Bitch Cakes and said he wasn't gonna Billy Gunn this
yeah.
King of the Ring win.
I should have been watching my blank DVD instead of watching it on Peacock. But
Shame.
this random Edge Billy Gunn segment gets cut off the network.
I
I guess.
just
Well, go ahead.
I love the thought like they don't edit out any of the Eugene or Benoit or bad shit, but they're like this segment between Edge and Billy Gunn. We gotta
Uh,
scrub this for mystery.
Why would they edit out any Eugene stuff? Eugene was a great character.
He's an interesting character.
See, and again, you need to watch Eugene's video where on YouTube where he talks about how he got a letter from a family that it's like our son is like well, you got to watch that video. It was essentially Eugene was not a how do you say it, a bad character. You know what I'm trying to say, a
Yeah,
that type of, like, it was not poking fun at mentally challenged people. Like, that's Eugene was an inspiration to a lot of sad, people who kids who dealt with that. But anyway, now we have Edge, who comes out to new theme music. I believe, was this Never Gonna Stop Me? I
is
don't
this
think.
it? Is Madarengo number 95?
As he defends the Intercontinental title against Canyon, and
Who better?
at one point, Christian does a run in and try to attack his brother, and this buddy winds up spearing Canyon by accident.
No.
He tries to spear Edge, but he spears Canyon by accident. Edge finishes off Canyon with the Buzz Killer and pins Canyon to retain his title. So again, even better. They've been doing a solid job building up Edge and Christian this whole time, but we get in the go home show better build up to Edge and Christian than we do Jericho and RVD. The one match they should have been like, hey, we need to do something here.
Christian has a better spear than Edge does, and I don't. Edge does the spear, and it never looks that good.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to some part of selling because I know he hit a when he won his first title. Throwback to our first episode together. That's the spears that he hit on Cena they looked devastating.
Right.
Part of that Cena's selling. The other part is Edge just does not do a great spear.
So good build up with the Edge and Christian matchup,
Yep.
but the match itself was sort of a quick match. But what do you think of the match and the post? Well, not the post match, the run in.
Yeah,
happens.
It was fun. I mean,
not much to say about it.
I mean the match Edge versus Christian kind of builds itself. So this is just
no, go ahead.
Like the with Christian running in, the Edge versus Christian kind of builds itself. So this was kind of like a one last little here's the last little nudge to just in case you're not sold on the Edge versus Christian, here you go. And I had originally thought that the Unforgiven match was their ladder match. But I think that was No Mercy.
Yeah, No Mercy was the ladder match. See, that's the thing though. Like, for most wrestling fans, build up to a pay-per-view is something that it sells them on the pay-per-view. For me, like I said, I always watch weekly shows like it's a television show. That's what I got into pro wrestling for. I got into pro wrestling because of really good weekly shows that had drama. I don't even care if it's to build to the pay-per-view to make me. It's not something you don't have to get me interested in a pay-per-view or I'll explain it better because obviously it does help get you interested. But I don't just watch it as get me interested in a pay-per-view. If you do something for a match where you build it up, or I put it this way, people, you would look at Rock Hogan and be like, well, they don't need to do nothing because I'm already interested in that match. That's a dream match. Then don't even have the fucking match, in my opinion. Build it up. And they did.
Yeah.
They still did. That's how good WWE was back then. They don't care that this is a dream match. They still want to keep you interested in the weekly show. If you're go ahead.
I'm not saying they didn't need a build to Edge versus Christian. I'm just saying the match itself is already people are going to be like, oh, well, this is the match I'm going to pick out of the whole card to use as the bathroom break.
You think people? Are you saying they wouldn't?
They wouldn't.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree.
At this point, I think It would either be the tag match or the Jericho RVD match.
Absolutely. Or Tajiri versus Run.
Yeah, that'd probably be good. But people like Tajiri.
The matches got barely any build though.
It's
Like,
ECW versus ECW, Frank. What more do we need?
but so like with Hogan and Rock, it's like, oh, why do they need to do anything? It's a fucking dream match. It's already, but and yet WWE didn't care. They still went out. Look, fucking Austin's a, running a truck into, well, not Austin. The NWO is running
Austin,
a.
Austin just randomly 2002 after turning back face. I ain't done with you yet, son. I'm gonna still. I ain't facing Hogan at WrestleMania, but I sure as hell will get my payback on you, Rock.
So yeah, NWO runs a fucking truck into an ambulance that The Rock is in. That's just part of what they did. They did everything to make that as dramatic as it could be. And people will say, "Well, it's a dream match. Why would you need to do shit like that?" Well, keep me interested in the weekly shows. That's why you need to do shit like that. That's my point. Like, yes, the storylines get you interested in the matches going into the pay per view, but it's like, it's not just that. If you're not gonna do anything to build these matches, why am I watching the weekly shows? And if there's nothing good on the weekly shows, then why would I watch the pay-per-views in the first place? And that's a big reason why I fell out of love with pro wrestling. But we move on to that non-title tag team match, Hardy Boys taking on the Dudley Boys. This was a pretty good match. Matt Hardy got put through a table with a 3D. Dudley's are putting everybody through tables today, or tonight, I should say, in this show. And but Matt rolled up Bubba Ray for the win. So, and also Spike Dudley came in and celebrated with the Dudleys, but then Lance Storm and Hurricane came out and attacked him with a double super kick, and then that is when the Dudley Boys get the 3D on Matt Hardy through the table. So it was a decent match. Hardys and Dudleys, fun, always a fun tag match when you got those two. But then the 3D through the table on Matt Hardy, Dudley Boys, two people on this one show going through the table at the hands of Dudleys. What do you think about that? And what do you think about the match?
Hardy's Dudleys always have great chemistry, and probably one of their. No, they have a match at Survivor Series, right?
Yes,
Cage. It's the
cage
cage
match.
match that Jeff Hardy eventually screws up, and then the match turns heel for like two minutes.
Well, Stacy Keibler had the highlight of that match, so
What's it called? I was gonna say this is probably one of their last matches together against each other, but then I
yeah.
remember there's Survivor Series.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, yeah. After Survivor Series, they
yeah,
turned
after
and
Survivor
face.
Series, they don't
Yeah,
really face each other much because Hardys break up for 2 minutes and then the Dudleys get drafted.
yeah.
And then
Um,
V1 happens.
well,
I thought this
version
was
one,
fine.
version one happens in like 03, not 02.
V1,
Yeah,
no, because
maybe
no, because
late
usually
02. Maybe
yeah,
late 02.
late 02 because he turns V1 either
Yeah.
during or after his interactions with Undertaker and Brock Lesnar during that run.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, you're
Because
right. Oh, late
because at
02.
No Way Out 03 he's V1 with his
With
moron
Shane.
Shannon
Yeah,
Moore.
yeah. And then he wins the cruiserweight title. Walks up to Jeff Hardy backstage and is like, "Look at me, I'm cruiserweight title. What have you done since we split up?" And then,
Drugs. I'm doing a lot of drugs. I'm about to go to
oh
TNA and do more drugs. And
yeah,
come
as I
back
was about,
here, do more
as,
drugs. TNA, do more drugs. I'll be doing drugs my whole life.
yeah, like as I was about to say, after Matt Hardy does that, like Jeff Hardy just disappears for a long, well, not a long time, but he disappears. And for me, I did not see. I can't remember the exact time when Jeff Hardy disappeared, but when he did around that time, and I did not see him again until I actually discovered TNA in October of 2004 when I watched an Impact, and that exact Impact ended with him sitting on top of a ladder as to say, "This is the match I want with Jeff Jarrett at Turning Point." That was the first TNA show I had ever saw, and I was like, "Holy shit! I've been missing Jeff Hardy. Where the hell's he been? There he is, finally."
And then you see him wrestling, like, oh no.
No, no. Well, I didn't really see him wrestle in TNA at least, or at that point, because it's not like I automatically like started buying TNA's pay per views.
TNA, 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 TNA. Fuck the WWF. TNA.
So now we have Austin talking to Deborah about Tajiri. RVD enters the locker room and asks if Austin had heard the news. Austin's like, Austin essentially says, "Well, I don't care about the news," and then he's like, "Wait, hold on, what's the news?" And RVD's like, "Well, Kurt Angle checked himself out of the hospital and will be heading back to the arena." Oh boy, Stone Cold is shocked at hearing that news, and so decent little segment right there, just to
I,
inform the rattlesnake that Kurt Angle's back in the building, or is making his way back to the building, I should say. And again, the way they built this matchup for the pay-per-view was really good for this main event. They're continuing it here on the final show. But what are your thoughts here on that?
Rob tells Stone Cold, yeah, I think he might have a something called CTE. We just discovered it. The fuck do you mean CTE? Concussions. I don't believe in concussions, Rob. Our brains stay in place. 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 I think something might be wrong with you. Shut up, you pot smoker. How irresponsible are these doctors that this man just took a pile driver on his head? Kurt's like, yeah, I'm just gonna check myself out. Okay. And second of all, is somebody gonna drive Kurt to the arena? There's no Uber
Yeah,
in 2001, and I don't think he brought cash for a cab.
yeah, I don't know there,
I
but
mean, what are the logistics here? Come on.
yeah. So now we have Stone Cold Steve Austin defending the WWE title against Tajiri. Stone Cold had some very interesting not tag title, very interesting title matches on SmackDown in 2001. He faced Spike Dudley for the title, or Spike Dudley challenged for the title on a SmackDown in 2001, and now Tajiri is challenging for the title on a SmackDown in 2001. Very interesting. Not show matches you wouldn't see on pay-per-views, but essentially another squash here. Stone Cold just brutalizes Tajiri and ends up hitting him with a stunner to retain. But after the match, Austin is taunting Tajiri with the belt. He's holding the belt right at Tajiri's face as Tajiri lays on the mat, and he started setting him up for a pile driver. When
No.
the Patriots music hit, the Patriot is back.
Hmm.
Oh no, wait, it's Kurt Angle's music. Never mind.
Hey, they do have different themes.
It's a little bit different. A little
You
bit
can't say you suck during Patriots theme. You can't during Kurt's.
different. And so Kurt Angle comes out. Austin again just looks shocked as hell. Angle is clad in a neck brace. He comes out, and the crowd starts chanting USA. And Angle says that when Austin threw his gold medals into a river a few weeks ago, he had thrown away a piece of Americana,
No.
which which he would never forgive him for. So, prop gold medals that Kurt Angle was handed to when he signed his contract. That's a piece of Americana, because
Those
obviously
were
that's
his. Those were his. Those, of course, those
no,
were his real
no.
medals.
The real medals were the ones with the green strap and it says like Atlanta, Georgia, 1996. The ones he starts coming out with like towards the end of his WWE, his original WWE run. Those were the real ones. The red, white, and blue were no, those were not the real gold. That's why Angle was so okay with having those gold medals get put down Benoit's pants and thrown into a river. Don't think Kurt Angle would have agreed to having his actual gold medals go through shit like
You
that.
know, Kurt's leaning a little bit hard into that Americano stuff. I
Yeah.
wonder if something happened that would bring the country together in the last week or so.
So Kurt Angle says, like you said, that's a piece of Americana. Hold on, where are we here? Um, oh yeah, which he would never forgive him for, and he said he would never forgive him for what he tried to do to him earlier tonight. Angle said he finally saw Austin for what he truly was. So let's see. Throwing the gold medals, or well, stealing the gold medals and throwing the gold medals into a river, opening up his best friend,
Oh, beat him.
joining the evil boss. Like Kurt Angle didn't. Kurt Angle's like, but pile
eh,
driving Angle was the on the concrete was like, now I see this guy for who
now,
he is.
now this, you did all this horrible stuff before, but now that you've tried to kill me, I'm taking this a little personal there, buddy.
Well, to be fair, I mean, tried to kill him. I mean, I guess I can understand that. It's a little worse than throwing a prop off off a bridge.
I don't know. Kurt, as far as Austin knew, Kurt was trying to kill him.
Yeah, he wanted to, but that's because Austin threw the gold medals off the bridge.
I'm just saying, Kurt, what goes around comes around.
Yeah. But he threw him into a kiddie pool, though. He didn't try to kill. He didn't throw him off a
What
bridge
if Austin didn't know how to swim?
in a kiddie pool.
I'm drowning. I can't do the dog paddle.
Austin's never been to Toronto, so he doesn't. Yeah. Whenever Austin
Well,
goes
no,
to
of course not. He's not. He's
because
not allowed in Canada.
remember they when you drive in Toronto and you pull up on a bridge, there's a kiddie pool sitting there randomly. Every at every bridge in Toronto, there's just a random
Obviously,
ass. So let's see. So he sees him for what he really is. I need to find that. Oh yeah, a desperate man who was afraid to face him for the WWE title. He said Austin knew that Angle was the one man who could beat him. Angle promised to walk out of his hometown this Sunday as the WWE champion. He said he would have no forgiveness for the rattlesnake, and an emotional Angle then tore his neck brace off as Stone Cold seemed to begin to count the days and the minutes of his reign down. This okay, so the show's obviously not over yet, but when it comes to segment of the night, I have a tie, and it involves essentially the main event for the pay per view. The tie is the opening segment and that segment right there that we just saw. It was hard to pick it because Angle had a phenomenal promo there, and obviously the promo there came out of what happened earlier tonight, so it makes sense. That's my pick on segment of the night, just a tie between both
yeah,
of those segments. What are your thoughts on Angle? Well, first the match, which the match was obviously it was just nothing but a squash,
yeah.
but then Kurt Angle right after.
Fine squash match. This was the kind of Kurt Angle that we hadn't gotten too much, like the super serious Kurt. Because even when he was dangling, he was threatening Austin with pushing him over a bridge. It was all kind of like kind of joking, but this was Kurt Angle like fully focused, fully pissed. Not wrestling machine Kurt, not peak Angle.
Mhm.
But pissed off like I'm gonna really hurt you this Sunday. You
There you
tried to
go.
end my career, tried to end my life, and you've hurt me. You've took my medals, you dumped them down to the sewer. I'm beyond pissed. I'm done fucking with you. This Sunday, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Hang on a second. Let me. We're gonna get to a Rock promo,
Oh boy.
but behind backstage. But hang on one second. Uh, okay, we're gonna get this. By the way, the main event for the show is once again another big Alliance versus Team WWE tag match. This time it's an 8-man elimination
Oh
tag
god.
match. So Austin, oh excuse me, Coach interviews Rock for the handicap match this Sunday at Unforgiven against Booker and Shane. Rock said that he got his ass whooped last Monday. Obviously, when you mess with Stephanie McMahon, you get your ass whooped, and that's what happened.
Obviously.
Stephanie pinned him, and it should be Stephanie versus Rock for the WCW title, with Stephanie winning. Obviously. By the way,
Obviously.
this show is lacking Stephanie McMahon and Stacy Keibler. I just got to put it like that's my
Is that
one.
is that gonna hurt the rating?
Uh, yeah, 0 out of 10. No,
Oh
I'm
man.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Let's do it.
Obviously.
No. We have to make an edit of this video where when we get to the ratings, I'm gonna put it in when you say 0 out of 10, and I'll be like 10 out of 10.
um,
Man, Frank really hated this show.
so Rock says he got his ass whooped last Monday on Raw, and plain and simple, he said he was down, especially after being pinned by Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. I don't understand why you'd be all upset by that, but apparently Rock is upset by that. He said that he realized that Stephanie had probably been on top of a lot of guys, and it didn't bother him. So it didn't bother him. Rock needs to be jumped and kicked out of the WWE for that comment. Um, but it had given him a case of the rock bottom blues. He said after the match, he drove 220 miles to the home of the blues, Memphis, which this is where the show was.
Oh boy.
He said at 3:30 in the morning, he had gone to his favorite diner on Beale Street for a piece of pie. And he said he then ran into Jerry Lee Lewis. Rock said Jerry Lee had played a song to lift his spirits, and Rock then sang a modified version of future pay-per-view Great Balls of Fire. He said his meeting with Jerry Lee Lewis made him even more determined that there was no way the WCW title would leave his waist Sunday at Unforgiven. Typical Rock, except for the fact Rock didn't really, go in on Coach here, but it is go home to the pay per view. So I guess I understand that Rock's not always gonna go in on every announcer when they do those backstage interview segments, but it's a backstage interview segment with The Rock. It's always classic. What do you think of this segment right here? Rock and Jerry Lee Lewis.
Rock and Jerry Lee Lewis. Cheap chop saying, "Oh, St. Louis Blues." Ha 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 ha. I'm surprised he didn't go with St. Louis Rams.
This
I
show
guess,
was not.
yeah,
Hang on a minute. This show was not in St. Louis. It's in Memphis. That's why it
Memphis.
brings up Beale Street and Jerry Lee Lewis. That's the
Jerry
cheap
Lee.
out. That's the cheap
Jerry
out.
Lee. He should have brought up the Tennessee Titans
Yeah. He said he had the
or the
rock
Predators.
blues. He had the rock blues. Hold on, let me look back at this. He says where are we here? Rock hold on. He was down. He said he drove 220 miles to the home of the blues, Memphis,
Oh,
home
you
of
see,
the
when you said
music.
home of the Blues,
The
I thought you
music,
meant
right?
you
Not the
meant the
team.
Blues.
Not the team. No, not the team. The music blues.
Yeah. I was going to
Since
say
we're
the
on
2001 Blues. I don't know if they did too good.
since we're on the topic of hockey, big game tonight. Big game tonight. We Islanders need to
Yeah.
win to be 1 point behind the
And
Canadians.
regulation. It's
Yes,
going to be
and
packed with the Canadian fans.
all I can say is being in Canada, they better watch when they drive on to bridges. But we have a Canadian head coach, so Patrick Waugh will remind
Yeah.
the driver of the team
When
bus, not to run over those kiddie pools
can,
that are
Canadian
sitting.
fans travel very well, so
Yeah.
I'm half
Oh
expecting a
yeah,
lot of kiddie
we're
pool.
home. Yeah, we're home tonight.
Yeah.
Yo.
Um, yeah, they travel better than any other fan base except for the Metro teams.
Well, they'll be driving by our bridges today, being like,
Yeah,
where's the kiddie pools, eh?"
they're going to be dropping off kiddie pools. There's going to be kiddie pools everywhere. Actually, when we're on a breakaway to either win or tie the game in the third period after being down 3 goals, because that's what we have to do apparently. One of them, whoever the goaltender is, he's going to blow up a kiddie pool and throw it at one of our players. Here
Oh
comes
my
Anthony Duclair. He's finally going to have his big Islander moment. And oh my God, he's taken out by a kiddie pool. He goes crashing into the boards, and there's no penalty.
Oh my god.
No call. Oh, look at that.
So
Too many men in the Ice Blue Islanders.
uh um so that's all you got to say about Rock. Yeah, we kind of went off because you thought he was talking
Yeah.
about St. Louis. But
He should have been talking about the Nashville Predators.
yeah. So yeah, true.
Tennessee, close enough.
Yeah. No, it is.
I
Nashville
won't.
is Tennessee.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we
yeah,
should
but
have.
he gets like that Barry Trotz, that bold motherfucker.
But
He
no, in
told
the
me
big.
what to do.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
He told me to go up to the nearest young WWF wrestler and tell him his ass is fucking benched and to sign a 37-year-old captain
Yeah, to an 8-year deal.
to an 8-year deal. He said he learned from the great New Jersey Devil GM Lou Lamoriello
Well, thank God
and
Lou
not from
Lamoriello
Islanders
didn't.
legend Mike Milbury.
Well, thank God Lou Lamoriello didn't learn from Barry Trotz and try to sign Steven Stamkos to a freaking 8-year deal. But anyway, main event time: Rock and APA Test versus Test Booker T and Rhino. This is actually one. Two, this is actually a 6-man elimination. My bad. I said it was an 8-man
I
elimination. This
know.
is a 6-man
Don't scare me
elimination.
like that.
Team WWE versus Team Alliance. But all you really need to it was a fun 6-man, easily the match on night because everything else seemed to be like squash match or nothing really going on match. But while Tro smacks himself into the head, the
Yeah.
eliminations
Dunk, dunk, dunk.
the eliminations led to Rock and Booker T being the final two on each side. And Booker T said, "Screw this, I'm out." He walks out, and that's essentially how we end the build up to Unforgiven, the road to Unforgiven. It's finally over. Uh, Great way to end the show because again, it's part of building the
Good
handicap.
night, everybody.
Booker T. Booker T. Just screw it. I'll see you at the pay view. Being the heel, just walking out. Um, and
I'm
that
surprised The
that
Rock wasn't like that. Jim, I'm gonna kick your ass. Get your
yeah
ass back in.
by Booker T, instead by Booker T walking out, Earl Hebner just picks up Rock's hand. They announce Team WWE as the winner, and that's how the show goes off the air. Uh, Final. So here we are. First of all, last week we went so off at the end of the show last week that I don't even think we had our overall ratings. Uh, just in case, my overall rating for the Raw episode yesterday would be 7.5 out of 10. What was yours?
I think I went with an 8.
Okay, I really
See,
think we
one
I
of those
really think
rare occasions where I actually went higher than you.
that's crazy. Yeah, so I don't think you're going to be higher than me today because I really enjoyed everything they did with Austin and Angle. Um, the end with the 6-man elimination was fine. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. I thought this was a really good show. Good way to end the road to Unforgiven. They kind of they kind of redeem themselves a little bit with all the Austin and Angle stuff. Even though Austin and Angle was literally the one match that they were paying attention to, but it's like at least they at least they did something big with one of the matches going into this pay per view. So I give it a 9 out of 10. What do you give this show?
Give it an 8.
So back to back eights for you. So tomorrow we should be getting to Unforgiven. We will finally finish this road to,
Yes.
and we will
Finally.
that is when we will announce our next two road twos. I'll announce one, which mine is next, obviously, because Tro picked Unforgiven. And then Tro will announce what he has next. And then again, the no show announcements until we get to whatever pay per view that Tro will pick on for his road to. But yeah, great SmackDown to finish the build up to this pay per view. And Tro, do you think you're gonna enjoy Unforgiven 01?
I cannot wait for Jericho versus RVD, the most
Um,
highly built up, highly anticipated match in professional wrestling history.
yeah, I mean, come on, Jericho pins him in a tag match. That's all you need to do, right? That
What?
for the pay per view, they should just have RVD stand in the middle of the ring and have Jericho on commentary.
You know, I'm looking at the match times for tomorrow for the show, and
Yeah,
Jericho and RVD have the second longest match.
that's crazy. That is fucking crazy. Even longer than the handicap match, which
Yeah, guess what co-main event?
uh
Rhino versus Tajiri.
well, that's see the thing about the second to last match. The second to last match on the pay per view is always a cool down.
Yeah,
So I understand that. I
that's not a
totally
cool down.
understand.
That's great belt.
Oh yeah, he gored him once. Rhino gored Tajiri. Rhino and Tajiri didn't even see each other on this show. I don't think. Yeah, I
They
can't
were in the
say it.
same building.
Rhino and Tajiri did nothing on this show. So literally, the build up to Rhino versus Tajiri is the gore.
And yet it's still somehow better than RVD and Jericho's.
Yeah. Oh boy. So yeah, if you want every match to be built up, you need to watch the Attitude Era, or even the early Ruthless Aggression era. That's what I fell in love with. WWE SmackDown in 03, WWE in 03. They tried to build up everything, and they did in the Attitude Era. But for some reason, here for Unforgiven 2001, this is one of those rare times during that 1997 to 2005 time periods where it's like, yeah, we don't care about that match. We don't care about that match. We don't care about that match. It's like, gosh, we're only building the main events. And we'll build Perry Saturn versus Raven. We'll build Edge versus Christian. They did those matches were obviously not main events, but got some good build. But yeah, fuck Undertaker and Cron. Hell, even the 4-team elimination, they did some stuff to build that. You know. But fuck Undertaker versus Chronic, Undertaker and Kane versus
Hmm.
Chronic. Fuck Rhino versus Jerry, and fuck Jericho versus RVD. That's what the writers said going into this pay per view.
Yeah. And I think I have just figured out what show I'm going to pick tomorrow.
Okay, you can tell me off air because
Yes,
again
yes,
the
yes,
rule
yes.
the rule is still there is no announcing shows until
Yep.
we get to. Because when you tell me off air, it's still not official. I mean, he
Yeah, I know.
already knows what I am leaning towards
Yes,
for
and it's very
for
ambitious for you to pick a modern show. Really.
a modern show.
Yeah, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do the road to WrestleMania 41.
No, the fuck I'm not.
Yeah, you're gonna be watching each show with me.
No, the
We were
fuck. No,
reviewing it
the.
every after every Monday Night Raw and
Isn't
a
that the
Friday Night
current?
SmackDown.
Isn't that the current main
Yes,
event? So
yes,
that would be a heavy.
we're doing it live. We're doing a live build. Damn it!
How
He's
then
still
that
got a
would
month
be
left.
that would be a total that wouldn't be retro wrestling, that'd be a total different series.
Okay,
But
then let's do WrestleMania 40.
you would have to hit up Christian to do either of those WrestleMania builds.
He's busy in AEW.
Not
talking
that
to Grandma
not
Ed,
that Christian.
talk, talking to Grandma Edna and watching John Moxley get hit in the back with spikes.
Oh my gosh, I saw that picture. I was like, whoa.
You should have seen the video of them trying to pull it out.
I think I did. I seen the video too, yeah.
What a
That
freak.
was
This is the same guy who cried that Brock Lesnar didn't want to do shit with them.
that I
What is it?
yeah.
Why doesn't Brock Lesnar want to fight me? It wasn't Brock want to do like all this extreme stuff. I don't know. I don't know, John. It's because you want to do this kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What do we have on the docket, Frank? What do we have coming up?
On the docket, yes. As we've said in pretty much every episode as we've been building
Yeah.
to Unforgiven. Next week, uh in fact, yeah, a week, literally a week. No, today's not Wednesday. Let's say today's Friday. Wednesday.
Today's Thursday.
Today's third. Oh, you're right. Today's Thursday. Okay. So a week from yesterday, we will preview the Mets season, and that obviously means baseball is literally a week away. I almost said a month away.
Yes.
A week away. Technically,
expanded spring training. They're trying to get the Mets to get hurt.
oh my gosh. Technically, the regular season already has begun because the Dodgers and
Yep.
Cubs.
Dodgers are on pace to go 162-0. Shohei Ohtani is on pace to hit 1 million home runs, or just 5 more home runs. It doesn't matter. He can go for. He can not get a hit for the rest of the season. He'll be the MVP because he's Shohei fucking Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani can hit 1,000 home runs, and Tro would still be pissed off that he won MVP.
Yep. Sure,
50-50 season. Nobody
50,
does that.
You know how many times I have to hear fucking 50-50? I hear 50-50 at the Islander games. I have to hear 50-50 from you.
You literally
Fuck 50-50.
You literally heard 50-50 as you were joining the stream yesterday. So
fuck 50-50.
Hey, don't be disrespecting 50-50 twin now. But
is that just Shohei? Is that just a twin of a Shohei Ohtani? MLB's wet dream.
Yeah. Well, anyway. So yeah, the season's already began, but for the Mets, it begins in 7 days. Brett Beatty days, as they uploaded that picture to SNY's
Oh,
Facebook.
yay.
Brett Beatty days away.
Yay. Thank God he's our second baseman.
So, yeah, Wednesday we will do the season preview. At the end of the month, at the beginning of March, beginning of April, excuse me. Hopefully, it will be a very happy recap, monthly recap.
Yes, because if they lose tonight, then the chances are it's not going to be a happy recap.
Yeah, it most likely depends on a win tonight for this to be a happy.
Basically, our season hinges on if we win tonight or lose.
You know whose jersey I got on tonight, right?
Obviously, it's a freaking Alexander Romanov.
Yeah, so he's scoring tonight. There you go. We already know, and he's facing his former team, so he's scoring tonight.
I wonder if any Canadians are making their NHL debuts tonight, just in case they need a first goal.
I don't know. I doubt it because
damn.
Yeah. So yeah,
gotta score the first one against us.
Mets season preview, Islanders monthly recap, and obviously tomorrow we will have Unforgiven review. Unforgiven 01 review, obviously.
Yeah.
We've been watching these weekly shows building up to Unforgiven 01 to watch Unforgiven 03, to review Unforgiven 03.
Yes. Man, this build has really sucked. Where's the Kurt Angle? Oh, there's Rob Van Dam. Why is Shane McMahon facing Kane? Why does Kane what happened to Kane's mask? What?
Where's Chronic?
Yeah, where's Chronic? Did Chronic take Kane's mask off?
Where's Undertaker too?
Where? What do you mean Taker's facing this Brock Lesnar guy at
The
No Mercy?
OVW kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts on the September 20th, 2001 SmackDown?
We finally got through all these SmackDowns and Raws. Hopefully, we never have another Road 2 that involves both SmackDowns and Raws.
Boy, do I have some bad news for you, but
Oh no.
I love doing any of these road twos where even if it's Raw only, SmackDown only, or Raw and SmackDown, it's a fun little thing to do. This was obviously our first Raw and SmackDown because we started with Vengeance '04. That was a Raw only pay per view.
Yep.
And then we did WrestleMania 15, which was obviously pre SmackDown. So this was our first Raw and SmackDown only. Hopefully, we will have a road to where we don't even need to skip any episodes. And I think the one that I am leaning towards, we have not reviewed any episodes involving
Mm-hmm.
that build up. So there you go.
There you go.
So thank you to anybody who watched this video. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. And again, tomorrow, Unforgiven 01.